5 minutes after 10, we hit that number and we were celebrating in a text thread. But we hit 3.1 million, but we didn't expect what came next.
Talk about millions with Ken Goldin right now, joining us last minute because of what's going on here with Shohei Ohtani's ball, founder and CEO of Goldin Co. You can see him on the Netflix doc, the whole deal. But right now, Ken, in the scene with this Shohei Ohtani ball. Ken, thanks for jumping on quick here for 5 minutes because we wanted to get clarification from the Don. So can you tell us what's been going down with this Ohtani 50-50 ball that just got sold through your group?
Sure. Obviously, the auction ended last night at Goldin.com. And my hope was real brief. My consignor, when I got it, was telling me I want to get over $1 million for this ball. So that was my target number one. Then we passed Aaron Judge, with who we sold 2 years ago for a 60-second home run, $1.5 million. So then once we do that, I said, okay, it's time to take out McGwire. So McGwire held the all-time record for 26 years for a 70th home run ball at exactly $3 million, or $3,050,000. So that was really my goal, is to have Ohtani replace McGwire as the most valuable baseball of all time. And, at about 5 minutes after 10, we hit that number and we were celebrating in a text thread. But we hit 3.1 million, but we didn't expect what came next. And what came next was 12 more bids in extended bidding up until about 12:30 at night or so. To finally close at $4.4 million, which makes it not only the most valuable baseball of all time, it makes it the most valuable ball of all time, like more than any other football, soccer ball, tennis ball, basketball, more than anything else has ever sold.
Now, when we talked, first off, thanks for coming on short notice.
Of course, this is what connections will get you, Todd.
Yeah,
that's right.
You're the top connection ever. Now I need Yankees tickets next, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Remember we talked about before the ball even went to auction. You told me.
Yep.
You remember what you told me?
How
much it would go for? How much do you remember? You said it would
go
for.
I probably said it's going to break the $3 million record, right?
No, you said 1.5 would be. Oh. Kind of where it started, and I said, okay, what?
1.5.
I said, where do I sign? You never sent it to me, so I'm still waiting. So I think you owe me 1.5. Either way, that it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
What does somebody do with a $4.4 million baseball?
Okay, well, let's look at what happened years ago. The guy who bought it was Todd McFarlane, who was a comic book artist, and he used the publicity behind him purchasing that baseball to launch a whole line of McFarlane figurines, which were, baseball action figures. So to me, this is a promotional vehicle. I mean, the ball is going to be, if I bought it, if I was not running the auction house and I bought it, I would be doing two things. I would, one, use it as a promotional vehicle. If you have a group of stores, get people into the stores, let everybody see it. Everywhere I went to TMZ in LA and I did a spot. And like everybody, when I was off the air, all their desks emptied out and they all wanted to take a picture holding the ball. And the head guy said he's never seen that with anybody else who came in here. People love Shohei and they're fascinated by this expensive baseball. I think it is a publicity magnet. Somebody said it's probably worth $100 million of publicity. So that's number one. Number two, why not loan it to the Baseball Hall of Fame? Why not give it to them for a year, have it on display, or loan it to Dodger Stadium? It's really a publicity vehicle to me. But in reality, and this is the reason why anybody said, why would somebody spend $4.5 million on a baseball? Same reason. Why would somebody spend $100,000 in somebody's dirty shirt, right? This is the key. For those of you who do not get people who buy game used memorabilia, it is not just you're buying the item, you're buying the moment. You're capturing a piece of history. So Shohei, on that day, became the first member of the 50-50 club, 50 stolen bases, 50 home runs. But he did it on the same day. He got his 50th stolen base and his 50th home run on the same day. And for all the pizzazz in the world, he had what could be the greatest single game offensive game in history. 6 for 6, 5 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, and a whopping 10 RBIs. So you own this baseball. It's like you own that moment in time. And I think that's what captivates a lot of game use collectors, that they can just show it off with pride and feel that they are a part of history by owning that item.
All right, you talk about the moment. The moment had a little bit of controversy, and I know there's some legal proceedings. If your son or your daughter was the one who had their hand on that ball, do you feel like that person was treated fairly, in the sense that he essentially got put in an arm bar by the guy that ended up with the ball? And should it be handled differently, or is there things in the background that we don't know about?
Okay, so first of all, this is what happened. You know all those that I'm not an attorney, and I was able to creatively settle this case. I was able to reach out to all 3 parties and get them all to sign a document, which we announced on October 7th, where all 3 of them have settled any claim of ownership to the ball and passed it off to Goldin Auctions to allow Goldin to then transfer free and clean, unencumbered rights to the ball to the winner. So what I said, listen, guys, do you want to own the ball, or are you just hoping to get some money? Because if you want to own the ball, I can't help you. But if you want to get money, I can help you a lot. Would you rather get a percent of 300,000, or would you rather get a percent of 3 million? Because that could be the difference if you stop my sale. They all agreed, and then they're going to go and we're going to take the proceeds. We're going to take out our cut. We're going to give the rest, if they haven't settled by the time that happens, to the Miami court, and the Miami court's going to hold it until either they litigate the matter or settle it. Because now I do have a relationship with all 3 individuals, all 3 guys. I don't really want to comment that much, except there is one thing I can tell you by the way you were describing the armbar and things, is that I have seen video that you have not. And I think that when it's all said and done, people will see that Christian was under the table with the ball in his hand before the other guy even came over. And the other guy had a phone in one hand and reached down, and to prevent him from taking it, the other one folded his legs. That's the video I saw. That's
good. That's great. That's great insight on it.
Yeah.
What if they get, because you are the collectible king, what if they get Shohei to sign this ball? What if they get a relationship? Does that devalue the ball? Does that change the entire structure of this collectible?
No. First of all, I've been asked that question. I've been thinking about it. I had, perfect example. I had Barry Bonds sign his 762nd home run ball for somebody. And, as Todd knows, I'm close with Barry. And, I knew the owner, and Barry signed it and inscribed it. And I think it helps the value. Obviously, this ball is amazingly high value anyway at $4.4 million. Sometimes signing an item may detract from the value. In this particular case, I think if he did a nice dual language inscription, the date and what he is on the other side, I'm not going over any scuffs or anything like that, I think long term it can help. And I also think it's a real possibility. I think if the individual owner does something that is in some ways for public display, and I don't want to say where they're from, but let's say gives either fans in LA or fans in Japan and Asia a chance to look at it and see the ball, I think that Shohei would probably sign it. And I do think that long term, it would make the ball more desirable.
All right, let's finish with this. Ken Rosenthal, another great Ken, was on our show right before you. I'm sure you maybe heard the tail end. And, I don't know if you've ever spoken to him, but he said he had a question for you. Todd Father wrote it down. And whenever Todd puts pen to paper, we got to say it before you jump. So
okay,
let's bring in Todd Father. You got it, Todd?
Ken knows me. I got to have my notes, because if I forget, I just go back to my notes there. He asked, what makes collectibles, like what is the market? What makes it go up and down? Like, why are certain things good one time and then, certain days they're not good and they're not expensive?
Like McGuire's ball?
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually a good example.
Like, I'll give you an example, Ken. You probably would have said this. Shohei Ohtani's ball a year from now, if you tried selling it, it probably wouldn't have been 4.4. Would you agree or disagree?
I think that timely events, when something like this happens, that is like on people's top of mind, the faster you get it to market, the more valuable it will be, because people have the passion. What made this auction so successful is the home run was hit on the 19th. 7 days later, it was up for bids at Goldin. 3 days before the World Series opens, with the Dodgers in it, the auction closes. It's a perfect storm. There are certain items, like let's say, that are career oriented. Like let's say the 500th home run bat of Mickey Mantle. Okay, as time has gone on, every single year that's become more valuable. But for modern players, where there's more game used items out there, and Major League Baseball is authenticating, and the NBA is pulling stuff off the backs of the players after every single game to sell, when a significant one-time game event happens, to me, you want to sell it when it is freshest in people's mind. And that doesn't mean it's going to be devalued. What it means is that people have short memories, and a lot of other exciting things are going to happen. If the Dodgers win the World Series, people are probably going to be interested in Ohtani World Series memorabilia. If he goes back and pitches next year, people are going to be wanting the jersey from when he made their triumphant return to the mound. Or what if there's an injury, or what if some other kid comes by and all of a sudden does something amazing? So I do think that career-oriented collectibles of all-time greats and people who are like Hall of Fame caliber players continue to go up over time. I think single event items are significantly more valuable within a very short period of time. Like Mark Burley, he threw a perfect game, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
If you had and great pitcher, I love the guy. He was great for me in fantasy. Didn't strike out a ton of guys, but he was a very crafty left-hander. But if you had like the final out ball to that game, and you had the jersey, and you sold it within 30 days of him throwing that perfect game when it was fresh in people's minds, it probably would sell for about 4 times what that same item would sell for today.
Wow.
That's good. So real quick, last one, who wins the World Series?
Look, I normally, if the Phillies are not in it, I root for the Yankees. However, this particular year, I want to stay on the Ohtani bandwagon, and I'm hoping the Dodgers win.
Here we go. Here we go.
Wow. Todd is deleting your number from his phone right now.
That's ridiculous, Ken.
I got to vote with my pocketbook.
Yeah, Ohtani's good for business.
That's what Todd did too. That's who Todd picked with too. His pocketbook. Yeah. I like that.
His pocketbook.
That's right. Ohtani's good for business. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yep.
Ken, the money's already in the bank. You don't have to vote for him now. It's okay.
No, there's more to be made. Like
everybody with an Ohtani item is going to be giving it to me now.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. You talk about the promo for Ken. And hey, thanks for jumping on quick.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, guys. Ken, we appreciate it. Congrats on the sale, all right?
Have a good one. Thanks. Anytime, guys.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, that was great to get the insight.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.